This is my build. This is a Mazda Rx7 FB. This is a 83 body shell. If you have followed my Instagram, you'll see that this is not the original body shell from the original car that I bought. So this project has been about 3 years running now. Just been doing bits to it when I can. COVID and all sorts of stuff has not enabled me to make as much progress as I'd like, but we're this far, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So it's a 12A. I'm going to be turbo in it. I'm going to put it on either Mega Squirt or Speedwino, making an EFI system. So yeah, if you follow my Instagram, you'll see the progress of making all these exhaust manifolds and stuff. It's quite dusty because the workshop has had the floor painted. So yeah, all this workshop is I'm renting from a friend, and I have to, I can't thank him enough, because without him I wouldn't be this far. So big shout out to him. I will link his Instagram in as well. So yeah, so we've got a big intercooler at the front. I want to try and make it as neat and as slim as possible, so I've welded the pipe solid here, and then it will have a flexi join in the middle, and then probably clamp up to here somehow. I've taken off the factory water pump. I'm going to run a Craig Davies electric water pump. I'm going to get 2 AN fittings the same as this, and then just run it straight through. So yeah, I've got custom air ride suspension that I've made. So I made all these struts. So this is a Mark 6 Golf air strut, and then this is the original FB hub. I've got 200SX bottom ball joints, and then I've drawn this wishbone up on CAD. Also made the subframe. The original one was about as strong as a piece of pasta, so I drew a couple of designs on CAD, and this one seemed to work pretty well. So yeah, I'm running for the minute some big banded steels. These are 15s by 10. The fronts are 225 45 15s, and they're probably the biggest wheel in diameter that I will run. I quite like the small wheel look. So in the back we've got, so obviously I'm running air ride, so I found these 2 tanks, and I'm going to use them as the air tanks. So what else? So I've had to raise the back floor pan because I've now notched the chassis, just because I wanted to slam it quite a lot. The wheel arch is up to the maximum height they can go to. I didn't really want to go to the extent of re-tubbing the wheel arches and doing all that sort of stuff. Like this is enough. So there is a 13B intake manifold that I was going to use. I did make a adapter plate for the 12A, but I think I'm going to just start and make a sort of my own intake manifold system. My thinking of using this was that it is a good reference, to start. You've got the injector ports all sorted. You've also got a TPS sensor and all the other vacuum lines if you did need to use them, and also it has the staged butterfly valves, which is good for, it's probably good for beginning in learning how to do rotary engines. Obviously I've never really built an engine at all, so this this will be something else. So yeah, I've also, let me put it up in the air. Oh, before I go up, I just want to show my wheels. So these are okay. So these are 15 by 10s at the back again, but I've got 245 40 15s on the back, and I also found that so I found these wheel lips on Facebook Marketplace for cheap, and they actually fit perfectly inside these 15-inch wheels, so it looks quite cool to me. Obviously it's got an extremely heavy wheel, but I think it looks pretty cool. And then at the back, not really done too much. I've made a 3-inch exhaust, which I still need to finish TIG welding up. I made all this rear boot floor, the tank I've made, a lot of things that I would do a bit nicer in the future. Maybe I'll change, but it's what I want, so I'm just going to raise it up. So at the front, yeah, we've got that intercooler in there, and then I've got an oil cooler that is just behind it, and when I get to doing the air ducting, then I will make sort of vents to go up to, you know, force the air up through the oil cooler. So yeah, just using the standard gearbox and the 12A to begin with, just because it is considerably cheaper than buying a 13B or something like that, and also I think it's quite cool to use the original engine just to see how much power we can make and that sort of thing. So yeah, I've made a stainless exhaust, laser cut this flange out, and then TIG welded all these up to the turbo. The turbo is a Toyota CT26. It is a twin scroll turbo, so that will be quite good. It's not the biggest turbo, but I don't really want to go super big yet. I think having a small turbo will be quite pokey at sort of low RPM. Yes, it probably won't have the top end, but I want to try and make this engine sort of, I'm not going to be trying to put like 40-50 pounds boost through it. I'm just going to put what, you know, efficiently make what makes efficient power, and also quite reliable power, not just, you know, rag it for a week for it to then detonate itself. I probably need to buy a new core for this, as I did find it in the scrapyard. So yeah, made a 3-inch exhaust. I've got quick V-band clamps. Probably should have bought a stainless, well, a flexi with stainless bits on the ends, but I think I'm just going to Cerakote these. So then this goes all the way to the back. I may put a silencer in and all that sort of stuff. And the flash on because it is pretty dark. So yeah, this is the 3-inch exhaust. I've just tried to make it tuck up as high as I can. This is, okay, the lowest bit. I may change that in time. On the back here, you'll see that the suspension arms are a bit different. So obviously, from making this a lot lower, I've now notched the chassis. I've reinforced the trailing arm mounts. This is 3mm thick steel welded onto these two ends. Made these sort of these big rose joint links. These are M20 rose links. Just cut off the original mounts at the top for the front trailing arms. Whatever they are, 4-link system. And instead of that, I have put the other 4-link at the back. Now, I've not seen anyone do this before. This is a bit of an experiment, but what I can say is I believe it will reduce the amount of twist in the diff. So when I'd watched a couple of videos on, what's it called? When you're, when you have a drag car and the prop starts to spin, it tends to either pull the diff down or up. Now I want it to pull down, so in doing this, okay, it will be solid, but it will not move that angle. That can be set. It's going to be a very hard driving car. I'm going to be able to feel every single like bump and nail and lump in the road, but I quite like that. And yeah, so right here we have our air ride bags. I've made a plate for the top and cut out the original cone. I've reinforced the top piece as well. Same on the other side. And on these back bits, I've put these big washers on here to spread the load and just keep it nice and strong. Right at the back, we have the fuel tank that I have made. I drew this on CAD, and I've still got to just finish getting all these fittings and the pumps. What was I thinking? So yeah, these have, it's got some baffles in the middle of the sump. Sorry, not the sump, the fuel tank. And there's two fuel lines. I think they're M12 or 12 mil steel pipes that run right to the back of the tank, so that when I am, flooring it forwards, then the most fuel that is going to be at the back, will be flowing in to the pumps. I'm not planning to sort of run this down to the last bit in the tank, but if it does happen, and then yeah, we've got a swirl pot, we've got our lift pump. I'm not sure if it's too fast, but I just quite like the look of it as opposed to a little square shit thing. And then yeah, so we've got two of them. They're going to come out into I don't know whether I'll blank this off. I mean, my thinking was that if it's going to be a high horsepower machine, then I can always use these two instead of just one, because this is AN6, which I think will be fine for the sort of power that I'm going to be running. So yeah, I'm going to run this braided hose, and I'm probably going to try and send it through the chassis leg if I can, just to keep the clearance on the ground available, and just reduce the the risk of potential damage to it. And yeah, that is how far I've got. There is a lot of work to do, but in my eyes, I've got almost all of the mechanical parts mocked up. I need to now make this this side intercooler pipe work go up to where I'm going to make the throttle body and the intake manifold. So I've ordered some stainless tube, which I will then start making a manifold for. I did wonder about using twin throttle bodies, seeming as it's two rotors, but I think I'm now going to do one 70mm throttle body, and then the injector ports in the 4 runners. So I'd laser cut this, I'd sort of drawn up this template for a flange, just to make sure it fits. I've had to do it a few times to get the holes in the right position, but I'll now get this cut out of either 8 or 10mm mild or stainless, and then start making an intake manifold, which should be quite fun. And yeah, we will we will see how that goes. So follow my Instagram if you want to see a bit more. I only really do things once I've compiled all the bits, and you know, I've got all the bits ready to do the job. So hopefully soon I can do that. So maybe I will see you then.